17-year-old Jordan Russell Davis was fatally shot and killed by a 45-year-old man by the name of Michael Dunn. Now, apparently, Michael Dunn was in Jacksonville, Florida for his son's wedding, and he pulled up next to a sports utility vehicle. It was a red car, and he noticed that the music was too loud. He couldn't handle the loud music. So he rolled down his window, and he asked the guys in the car to turn it down. Somehow, a verbal altercation ensues, and it gets to a point where Michael Dunn gets a gun. He's a gun collector, and he starts shooting at the several black men in the car. Okay, 17-year-old Jordan Russell Davis was shot twice in the back of the neck, and as a result died. Authorities say, Jacksonville police to be specific, say that there was no gun found in the vehicle. They were unarmed, so they don't understand why Michael Dunn shot into the car 8 or 9 times, killing an unarmed 17-year-old.
So he says, oh, I thought I saw a shotgun, except he didn't. And when his lawyer was asked about the fact that the cops didn't find a gun, she said, well, maybe they should keep looking.
Yeah, you know, I actually want to go to a video of his lawyer just to show you what kind of person is defending Michael Dunn. Her name is Robin Lemonidis, and here's what she had to say.
Kill that mother, dead, you dead. And he sees that much of a shotgun coming up over the rim of the SUV, which is up higher than his Jetta. And it's all he sees are heavily tinted front windows that are up and the back windows that are down, and the car has at least 4 black men in it. And he doesn't know how old anybody is, he doesn't know anything, but he knows a shotgun when he sees one.
4 black guys in the car. Okay. So, 4 black guys in the car. She's a defense lawyer. She presumably went to law school. And she says that like, well, obviously, well, what would you do if there was 4 black guys in a car? You would feel threatened and you would shoot them, right? So it's amazing because what they do is they imply that blacks are dangerous and violent, and hence 4 blacks in a car equals some sort of threat.
Exactly.
But the blacks are unarmed. It's the guy who's shooting at them, that shot at them 8 or 9 times, that is obviously the actual guy who is violent. But no, the assumption is, well, you know, there's 4 black guys in a car, you know how they are. No. I know how you are. You gun nut who goes around, he couldn't wait to use his gun. He couldn't wait to use it.
He was so threatened by these unarmed people that he felt the need to shoot not once, not twice, not 5 times, 8 or 9 times.
Now, in that whole 8 or 9 times, did they ever shoot back? No, because there is no gun, because they were not a threat. But he keeps shooting anyway. And so if he thought it was really self-defense, why not stick around? Turns out he ran. He ran from the scene. Thank God somebody got his license plate, and they wound up arresting him later.
Yep.
Okay? So what happened? I thought it was self-defense. Wouldn't you say, if you got attacked, wouldn't you stay around and tell the cops, hey, you know what? I got attacked. You know, one of the articles talks about, well, you know, it turns out that the kid was not in a gang. Why are we talking about whether this 17-year-old kid was in a gang? Why? Because he's black. Of course, so the first question you ask is, well, if he's black, he must have had it coming, right? He was probably in a gang or something. No, he was in one of the top schools. Mm-hmm. But if a black guy had gone and shot up 4 white kids 8 or 9 times, would they ask, hey, were those kids in gangs? Were the white kids in a gang? Nobody would ask that. You know it. You know it. And you think that people, and now, of course, this guy's very likely to do stand your ground. It's Florida. Mm-hmm. So, I was standing my ground. So, do you think that his defense lawyer would say, well, Your Honor, there was 4 white kids in the car. Come on. Mm-hmm. Like, would that be a defense? Now, look, the stereotypes against African Americans are not just sick. You have to understand something. They're dangerous. That not only does it lead some idiot like this to feel so threatened, he's the one that starts the altercation by going in and saying in the first place, oh yeah, your music's too loud, etc., because he feels like such a man because he's got a gun, right? Yeah. And these are teenagers, and he can push them around because he's got a gun, right? But then, not only does he assume that they're violent, and then shoots them, and then uses it as a defense later. So look, the stereotype against African Americans that they're violent drives me crazy, because we have had a history here of hundreds of years where one race committed grotesque violence against another. They took them from their homes, they kidnapped them, they literally enslaved them. If they tried to go anywhere, they would beat them, they would kill them. And then that race turns around and says, oh yeah, those guys are the violent ones. Are you kidding me? If there should be a stereotype, and I don't think there should be, but if there was one on which race is more violent in America, it's not even close. Historically, whites have been grotesquely violent in America. Now, if you're white in America now, does that mean you're violent? No, of course not. And these stereotypes shouldn't exist for any of the races, okay? But what I want you to do is stop using it against African Americans after they suffered all of that violence, then to turn around and use stereotypes like this. Well, there was 4 black kids in a car, so obviously we had to shoot up the car.
The part of this that also enrages me is the fact that even after the whole Travyon Martin case, and even after all the controversy surrounding stand your ground laws, we've learned nothing. I mean, we have a history in this country of learning nothing. Right? We're supposed to learn from history. We're supposed to change our laws when we see that they are failing. And it makes me sick to my stomach to know that this man is able to use this defense. Doesn't mean that this defense will actually set him free, but the fact that this defense is available to him, because he was not standing his ground at all. These people were unarmed. They did not pose a threat. He is in his vehicle. He could have gotten away. He's the one who started the altercation to begin with. You don't like the music? Drive away. Park somewhere else. It's none of your freaking business.
Do you have the right to stand your ground against music you don't like? So if like Bill O'Reilly doesn't like Gangnam Style, can he stand his ground and start shooting everybody that's playing it?
Apparently he can in Florida.
Yeah, no, this is sick. By the way, stand your ground defense works 70% of the time.
Yeah.
So you can shoot somebody, it's basically shoot first, right? You shoot first, and then 70% of the time you get off. Especially, by the way, and this is true, statistically, if it's a white guy shooting a black guy, they get off more than if it's the reverse. Of course! And Governor Rick Scott of Florida had a panel look into stand your ground after the Travyon Martin case, and they decided to not change a damn thing.
Exactly.
They looked at that disaster and they thought, nailed it. In other words, this is the result they want. It's not an accident. It is what they designed. It is what they just recently reapproved. And that's why we have another case that sounds a lot like the Travyon case in this case. Now look, at least this guy got arrested right away, and we'll see what happens with him and whether his defense works or not. But so much of this case is just sickening.